Tasnim Square Table, where we break down the stories from every angle. Today, we are exploring A Rose for Emily and its film adaptation, looking at how memory, silence, and storytelling shape Emily Grayson's world. Now, let's get into it. Before that, let's introduce our guests.
Hello everyone, my name is Nurshada Sofia and I'll be one of the guests for today.
Hello everyone, my name is Nur Najiha Natasha and I am a director of the film.
Hello, I'm Nora Tira and I'm a fashion designer.
Hi everyone, my name is Nurul Noha Safia. I'm a famous YouTuber with 100k subscribers.
Hey, what's up guys? So my name is Umaira and I'm a multimedia student. So, let's get started.
So, William Faulkner's A Rose for Emily is one of those stories that refuses to stay quiet. Its film adaptation adds another voice to that conversation. Today, we're breaking it down from multiple angles. Let's start with structure. So, Miss Shadia, how does this story choose to unfold?
What's interesting is that the short story doesn't guide us gently at all. It begins with Emily's funeral and then jumps across different points in her life. There is no clear timeline, which makes the reader feel disoriented. But that's intentional. The film still opens with Emily's death, but after that, it becomes much more chronological. We watch her life unfold step by step, which gives us clarity much earlier than the short story does.
Miss Emily, we are so sorry to hear about your poor daddy's death.
My father's not dead.
Well, what do you mean?
So, you mean confusion versus clarity?
Exactly. The short story wants us to question everything, but the film, they want us to understand her.
As people will.
So we're moving to Miss Umaira. So Miss Umaira, how does that structural choice affect the tension?
So in the short story, the rising action feels scattered. We hear about the smell, the poison, Homer Brown, and Emily's fathers, but never in a neat order. It keeps us uneasy because we don't know which detail will matter later. In the film, those moments are shown in sequence. Instead of mystery, the tension comes from watching Emily emotional unravel. We're not guessing what happens because we're watching it slowly happen.
You'll have plenty of chance of getting a wedding dress. I don't want any more of your moves. Oh, really, we're trouble enough.
So you mean does that change the climax?
Yes, absolutely. The short story never confirms the mood. It lets the reader figure out by themselves. The film strongly implies Emily's poison Homer, which removes some of mystery but adds emotional weight.
Hang on now.
So right now we're moving to Miss Najiha. So Miss Najiha, let's talk about themes. What anchors both versions?
Okay, thank you Tasnim for the question. That is a very interesting question. So, the major themes stay consistent, which is family, romance, and also murder. So, Emily's relationship with her father is a central. So, actually, his control isolates her, which shaped her fear of losing people. The romance comes through Homer Baron, which is he actually represents freedom and companionship. So even if he never intended to be with her. And lastly, we have a murder. So murder is actually and exists as an implication rather than a fact. So which make it more disturbing actually. is actually a gothic in both ways. So the decaying house reflects Emily's mental health, but the differences is a distance. So the story also actually feel cold because because we only hear the gossip, and also the film feel intimate because we only see her silence, her expression, and her isolation.
That she was falling. It was as though she demanded more than ever the recognition of her dignity as the last risk.
So, Miss Atira, we're moving to you. So, who's really telling this story?
In the short story, it's the town actually. So the reason for this is actually because the narration itself, they use the word we, the pronoun we, and hence it is targeted towards the town actually being the audience that is telling the story, which gathers a collective view and actually controls how we see Emily in the story. However, in the film, there is no controlled perspective or narration. It is certainly towards Emily. The visuals itself take over, and it's less dominant, and it just puts it into perspective on Emily's own life.
Were there any major changes in adaptation?
Yes, actually. The film removes the suggestion that Homer Baron liked men. And another thing they removed is the tax conflict, which happened with Colonel Sartorius. Another thing actually in the film, they added a scene where Emily meets with Homer Baron outside of the drugstore before she bought the poison. This actually shows the moment, a glimpse of how their relationship was before Emily did what she had to do.
Now we're moving to the last part. So Miss Nuha, which version stayed with you more? Is it the film or the short story?
Well, as for me, both versions are meaningful to me as it is so complicated. It makes me feel educated. However, to be honest, the film had a stronger emotional impact because it represents Emily's expression and isolation. It makes audience understand her pain more. However, that doesn't make the short story unimportant because nothing replaces the original, right? So the short story also have its own benefit. I mean, the advantages where the mystery in the short story, the chronological order in the short story is missing. So it makes the story more mystery, and it forces readers to engage with the story and sit with their discomfort because they are very curious about it. That's in my opinion.
Hopelessly and disastrously compromised.
So are there any moments that surprised you?
Of course, there's a scene that shocked me, especially the townspeople's reaction, because at the moment the Homer Baron disappeared, and he was last seen by Adair at Emily's house, and also by the time he disappeared, there was a smell that many people noticed, but still they ignored and they didn't dare to mention it to Miss Emily because they respect her status, and also because she was a woman, because they feel like, oh, that is not appropriate for people to ask because she is a woman, and also they pity her as for her fate. She lost her father, and also she lost Homer Baron because Homer Baron didn't want to marry her. And it makes the town complicit because Emily isn't just a tragic figure, and it means that she protected by social hierarchy also.
Emily.
That'll be just fine.
Final thought from the guest. What does A Rose for Emily ultimately leave us with?
For me, Rose for Emily would be a story shaped by a memory. What about the others?
For me, I think it's a tragedy through a silence. How about you? For me, it's actually represent a portrait of loneliness.
As for me, a critic of social judgment.
Yes, it is very correct, everyone. And as for me, Rose for Emily also a reminder that what a community ignores can be just as powerful as what it confronts.
A haunting legacy indeed. So that's all from today episode. So see you in the next episode.
So then, just
The film's from
But that's not.
It is
as for me, a critique, for fuck's sake.
So, like a start.
So we're moving to panel.
Well, in the short story, actually, it is being narrated.